strategy for solving bold-faced questions. Step 1. Identify the conclusion of the argument. Step 2. Link the bold parts with the conclusion. Step 3. Know what you're going to look for in the answer choices. Step 4. Eliminate 4 choices using the grid. The 5th choice that remains is the correct answer choice. Let's apply this strategy on a live question. Here is the argument. Here's a question. In the argument given, the two bold-faced portions play which of the following roles? Here is the mind map that GDP growth has been great. Party deserves credit. However, party has been soft on other issues. It is not likely to win in the upcoming elections. What is the conclusion of this argument? That the party is not likely to win in the upcoming elections. How are the two bold parts related to the conclusion? Now, second bold part itself is the conclusion that makes the job easy. How is the first bold part related to the conclusion? The first is an observation, a fact, a circumstance. The argument tried evaluating the implication of the same, and in the process it talked about the performance of the government on other fronts and led to a conclusion that the party is not going to win. So first, how does it relate to the conclusion? First is an observation, a fact, or a circumstance whose implication are being evaluated by the argument. The second boldface itself is the conclusion. So with this expectation, we look at the answer choices. This is on the lines of what we were expecting. This is a fine answer choice. Look at this one. Calling first a finding is alright, that the argument seeks to evaluate is alright. The second opposes the finding. This is a bad answer choice. Opposing the finding would mean that the second boldface is saying that GDP has not grown by 15%, which is not the case. This is not a good answer choice. One more. The first is a fact. Calling it a fact is alright. That opposes the main conclusion. So suggesting that GDP has grown by 15% is not opposing the conclusion that the party is not likely to win. Yes, this observation may lead to a slightly different prediction, but the role of the first boldface in the reasoning is not to oppose the conclusion that the party is not likely to win in the coming elections. It is simply to suggest something positive that the party may have done or may have played a role in. So this is a close answer choice. This is a trap. After due diligence, you will be able to eliminate this answer choice. However, this calls for some serious deliberation. One more. The first is a finding that helps derive a conclusion. Our conclusion probably is that this is something good that has happened, the first boldface, and therefore the party must be applauded for its role. So our conclusion is the party must be applauded for its role. The second boldface is a different conclusion. It is the main conclusion of the passage. The second boldface is not the conclusion that first boldface leads to. This is another very interesting answer choice, but not the correct answer choice. This was the concept, guys. GMAT shorts are deliberately kept brief. For an elaborate explanation, please refer the stage 1 videos. Thanks for watching.